Speech number 5.
Who are you reading?
My audience. They're a little rowdy tonight. Okay. My speech number 5 is a persuasive speech for Donald Trump. Are you guys ready to change America? This being an election year, there's a lot of negativity out there in all politics. Trump, the reason I would support him is one, he is very anti-establishment. 2, he is also more of a man of the people than I believe the other candidates are. And finally, 3, I think he would get things done. Let's go back to the first one. What I mean by anti-establishment. Since 1980, we've only had one president, which was Reagan, that was anti-establishment. What I mean by anti-establishment was he was not a lifelong politician. If you talk, Clinton, both President Bushes, Obama, they were all lifelong politicians. They were all part of the establishment, so they liked government ran one way. Trump, on the other hand, was a businessman who has failed multiple times. He's filed bankruptcy multiple times. I think he has more of a hand on what the people actually want, or what he thinks they want, than one of the establishment politicians do. The second thing is I feel that he has more of a hand on what the people want. What I mean by that is you see all these hashtags out there on social media. CNN puts them out there, hashtag Blue Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, stuff like that. On Trump's Twitter page, his own Twitter page, the official one, he stands behind cops. That's very kind of out there right now for politicians because of all the negativity in the political scene on the law enforcement and the abuse of power in the law enforcement agencies now. It's very controversial that a political candidate for president would stand behind the cops. They would try to tend to stay away from controversial issues and play toward the mainstream, which, of course, if you've watched any of the debates, is not Donald Trump. Trump actually skipped one of the debates because he was mad at the moderator for that debate, Megyn Kelly. She had made some disparaging remarks against him, and he said, "You know what? If she does it, I'm not going." Which everybody thought was okay. Well, he'll end up going. Well, he didn't end up going. He ended up going to a college nearby. I think this was in Iowa, and they paid to get in to hear him speak for, I think it was 45 minutes to an hour, and all the donations that he got that night went to help Iraqi war veterans. The final thing I'd like to touch on is Trump, I think, would get things done. Being a businessman, being a failed businessman for many years, I don't know how many times he's claimed bankruptcy. It's been numerous times. So he knows failure. People in their everyday lives, just like me and you, know failure. We fail every day. These politicians, they don't know failure because they get support behind them and they don't have to fail. Or when they do fail, it's a party fail, not just a one-person fail. Trump, I believe, will tackle some of the issues that plague our nation right now. Like, he talks about building a wall and making Mexico pay to build the wall for legal immigration, which is a very controversial issue also. But I think if it's done in the right way and handled the right way, I think it could be a very good thing. Another one of his issues is, again on race. The welfare state in America right now has gotten so overwhelmed with all of the rush to get welfare and not have your job, not do anything, because we will take care of you. I think Trump will stop that. I think he will slow it down and make better rules and target people who are taking advantage of the system, so when they do try to come back into the system, I think they'll push them out. You know, the other big thing is Obamacare. Nobody likes Obamacare. I think he will really take a look at this and make sure that we're doing it the right way. Because if we don't do it the right way, it's going to be a drain on the American people. Another issue, you know, is the establishment does not like Trump. I just got a quote from or a little background from the New York Times. States as of February 25th that lawmakers on the Republican side were trying to get all their ducks in a row to make sure that if Trump did win the nomination, that they would not have to back him. You know, Governor Christie from New York, just this past week, kind of threw his hat in the ring and said, hey, I support Donald Trump. Christie's more of an anti-establishment guy also, and it doesn't really surprise me that he does this. But to make sure that if Trump does win the election, which I think he will, on at least the Republican side, the establishment people have tried to get their ducks in a row to make sure that he does not get the Republican nod, which I don't think is fair. He told the Republicans he would run for his side, or their side, and he would not seek independent nomination. So, you know, but, you know, we'll have to see what happens. Finally, just checking before I got into this speech, on CNN, the latest numbers for Trump was he has 41% of the nomination going against either Democratic candidate. He has some ground to make up, because you have to at least have 50 to be dead even. He has 41% right now, and he hasn't even won a nomination. Clinton would still win if she actually wins the nomination for her side. So I just feel if you want to change America, because right now I'm not proud of America. If you want to change America, I think if I didn't change your mind about voting for Trump today, at least look at some of his issues with a better sight, and not think of all the negative things that are out there. Look for yourselves on who would be the best candidate. I think you might find that Trump stands with you more than you actually think. Thank you very much. Okay. And everybody stayed for the whole thing, surprisingly, but they did. All right, thank you very much.